Online food delivery giant Zomato found itself in the midst of a controversy with a new pure vegetarian mode feature that they brought, where riders were to don green uniforms to deliver pure vegetarian food. After the announcement faced a backlash, the Zomato has been forced to roll back the green uniforms. But still the rule remains that there will be separate segregated counters for vegetarian food and for non-vegetarian food. Are we promoting a food divide in this country? Take a look.
India's premier internet stock, the food delivery juggernaut, Zomato, stirs the pot of online discourse yet again. When Zomato's founder and CEO, Deepinder Goyal, unveiled a specialized fleet adorned in green exclusively for vegetarian orders. The move sparked cries of exclusivity. Reacting swiftly on social media, Congress MP Karthi Chidambaram slammed Zomato as prejudiced. The company's proclamation that no non-vegetarian meal, even if served by a non-vegetarian restaurant, would ever be placed in the green delivery box, triggered a wave of mockery and sharp criticism. One user pondered how long before Zomato sorts its couriers based on their dietary preferences. Another user ridiculed the concept as nonsensical, predicting that dress color coding will empower housing societies to veto non-vegetarian deliveries. A hazardous gambit for delivery personnel countered this commentator. But what about the origins of this food? A strictly vegetarian farmer, a vegetarian truck driver hauling it, and vegetarian workers handling it, queried another skeptic. The company head, however, insisted that the move isn't aimed at catering or ostracizing any religious or political faction. But after facing massive backlash, food delivery giant rolled back green fleet for pure vegetarian. Zomato said its Pure Veg Mode will continue with its delivery fleet in regular red uniform. Despite praise from many netizens hailing the initiative as a savvy business move, the online deliberation resurrected memories of prior Zomato controversies. Last year, the company faced backlash over its recycling campaign, following its portrayal of a Dalit character from the movie Lagan.
Sir.
In September, Zomato drew ire on social media due to a post featuring banana chips, with a caption linking the Gurgaon police alleging drugs were smuggled to its office. The company issued an apology and deleted the post. Bureau Report, India Today.
So does Zomato's Pure Veg fleet stoke a food divide? Is this marketing gimmicks or is it customer friendly? Is this the way to woo more customers? Joining me now is Sanjeev Kapoor, celebrity chef. Amish Dal Sabarwal is a brand consultant, and Rupali Deen, food critic and columnist, joins us. Appreciate your joining us. Sanjeev, let me come to you first. There's much talk after this that we have a food divide in this country. This whole idea of sattvic food, of pure vegetarian, and don't mix it in any way with anyone who might be taking a non-veg order. Does it promote a food divide?
Thank you, Rajdeep. Great conversation. And it's amazing how we can turn something very simple, which I see as a consumer demand, into a controversy. Now, let me say this. When I launched my website, sanjeevkapoor.com, in late 90s, in I think first year or second year, we had a switch in our website that you just shift this switch and the whole website would only give you vegetarian content. And that's a choice that we heard and we reacted as per that. We saw a demand where my book had tandoori chicken on cover, and there was something which book was not placed by shops, many shops, that, oh, you have non-vegetarian on cover. And so from then on, even in our Konkan seafood cookbook, we had coconut. Now, this is, I'm not talking 1 year, 2 year, I'm talking 20 years, right? This is something that how do you react to a demand? How do you address a demand? Is it something that there's a real demand? Now, I think the issue here is that there is clearly a demand. It's not that there's a tomato ketchup which is without onion and garlic, which has existed in our country. It's there. It's a demand that's there. There is.
So you're saying there's always been a demand that you must make sure that keep pure veg and non-veg completely separate. Am I correct?
So there is a large population which prefers, if they are given a choice, and I think it is looking at that choice, and some people can make it happen, some people may not. So let's look at restaurants. There are many restaurants in same hotel. So I worked in a hotel many years ago where we used to have pure vegetarian restaurant. There was a separate kitchen. And again, I'm talking I was executive in that hotel in 1992. So imagine this is nothing new. It's always been there. But to say that this is something, or we are dividing, I think there's a demand that's okay. There.
I take
By
your
that
point.
Logic,
so I take your point.
So Rajdeep, one more point.
Yes.
Let me say this: refrigerator is in our country. There's always a tray with the egg that is there. Vegetarians should say, "Oh, why should I buy a refrigerator which has?" I don't eat eggs. Why are you giving me a refrigerator with a tray that to keep eggs? It is something I think if there is market reacts to those demands, and we have to look at it in a holistic way, not convert everything into a controversy.
Okay, fair point. Amish Das Sabarwal, as a brand consultant, has Zomato therefore got it right, or did they get it wrong in the first instance by saying we'll have separate color coding? That's what it caused the problem. Someone will be in green dress means vegetarian, red dress means non-veg. That was the problem. Had they avoided that, nothing wrong in what Sanjeev says. You will have customers who want pure veg.
Yeah. Rajdeep, I think there are 2-3 points. Like when we thinking of a marketing initiative, we think of 3-4 points which makes a good marketing initiative. I'll be logical about it. So the first thing that we started on talking about market intelligence of data, though they claim that, India has the most amount of vegetarians, by pure population, you're right. But if you look at the surveys, that population is only 30% of the people who eat pure vegetarian in India. Mm-hmm. First things first, right? Just on data when we talk about it, you can look at the Pew survey, you can look at the CNN-IBN survey. There are multiple surveys and we can look through them. Second point, the cultural insight. For us to say that food is not politicized, it's not about higher caste, thinking in that ways and connected to it. That would be being completely blind to it. There is politics on food, and we need to understand when you say pure veg, what is pure and impure veg? Who's impure? Who's pure?
Right. So there's a certain Brahminical caste order there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Your third point?
Absolutely. And the third point saying the consumer insight, where I agree with Sanjeev and I agree with Zomato that, there is a need for that segregation. So points on that, perfect. Idea-wise, fine, needs the logical expectation of doing something like this. But execution not thought through, like we talked about in your little clipping about segregation, about safety of partners who are delivering, about people like me who won't get rent,
right?
Because my landlord can see what I'm ordering. So they're like major problems.
No, I think those practical problems, but Rupali Deen, as a food critic and columnist, do you think that it's much ado about nothing? We, over the years in this country, across this country, have pure veg restaurants. Because, as Sanjeev started off this debate, there is a demand for that. This is the reality of India, and Zomato is reacting to a reality.
So I would say that, in all homes, there are vegetarians and there are non-vegetarians. And we all eat together. Mm-hmm. And I think, like Chef Sanjeev just said, in a refrigerator, you have a separate compartment for eggs as well. And the vegetarian doesn't say that, oh, please change the refrigerator. So I totally agree with this point as well. And I feel that, there was really no need to have a green uniform as such. And in metros today, everybody eats together. If a vegetarian is really picky, he's not going to order from outside. He or she is going to cook at home. Mm-hmm. So
no,
yeah,
but the worry
point.
is somewhere that there is also a link, Rupali, between caste hierarchies, between religious divides. Do you believe those need to be taken seriously by a company like Zomato, which is all across the country, that tomorrow they may profile the drivers, the delivery boys. I will only take it from a delivery boy who is pure vegetarian himself. Where will it end then?
So, for most people, they wouldn't know how Zomato works for the layman. So just like Uber, the nearest driver comes. Similarly with Zomato, the nearest person who's, available comes and takes your order. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know how Zomato was going to do that, mm-hmm. because it could be a Lubna picking up an order, a vegetarian order, and somebody would just, raise a hue and cry about it. Whereas it could be a Pushpa picking up the order and it could be a non-vegetarian order. So I feel that religion should not be in it, because I think Zomato once also said that food is beyond
no
religion.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Zomato did say that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Sanjeev, as we conclude this, do you believe that we need to also, as Indians, while we have our strict dietary preferences, we need to learn to accept and appreciate each other. I may be sitting in a train and I may be having tandoori chicken, but the person on the other side may be a pure veg, does not like the smell. How do Indians find ways in which they can respect each other's spaces when it comes to food? And
no, absolutely. I completely am in favor of inclusivity in every which way. It's not only in food, in all walks of life. I'm all for that. I'm not saying that we should do it. At the same time, inclusivity does not mean that being insensitive, does not mean disrespectful. There are things that I am brought up with. So my daughter does not like when I eat and my fork, when it touches the plate, it makes some noise. But we are all eating together. But she gets very disturbed. Should I stop eating? How do I do? My wife eats with her hand, but I have not been brought up like that. But we all sit together and we respect each other. So we have to be inclusive. At the same time, we have to be respectful. That has to go hand in hand. Right. And there is no food policing should be there. No religion can come into food. Be respectful. In food, one thing we have to remember, transparency. Whenever there is delivery, whenever there is manufacturing, whenever there is distribution, transparency gives, and that's why we have coded from which farm it is coming to everything. That transparency will help. And in certain things, certain execution, they go haywire. Maybe in this case, that's what happens.
Okay, so customer confidence above all else. Ensure customer confidence. Customer feels confident that the food that he's getting is as per his dietary or her dietary preferences. But let's not push it too far. Let's not divide this country on food. There are enough divisions in this country as it is. And let's learn to mutually respect each other's dietary preferences. I thank all my guests for joining me here.